Hello and welcome to the Farmer's Kitchen. We're the farmers, and this is our kitchen. And you know what? We went fishing recently.
You have been fishing a lot.
And you know what? You kind of want to get inventive with your dishes, and you think, okay, what are some new things we can do with fish? Not too long ago, a very friendly person on our Facebook page said, Mr. Farmer, why don't you make a catfish dish, a specific catfish dish? He called it catfish mull. Some people call it a Mulldown. Interesting thing. One time, years and years ago, before I even knew you, driving through Atlanta, you know how stressful it is
to
get there. And I was so hungry and got down south of Atlanta somewhere, and I stopped at this little place. It was just a little diner, and they had something called catfish mull, is what they called it. So of course I had to try that.
Right.
This is the way that I remember it. It might not be right, but this is the taste that I remember in that. It's kind of a stew, but I'm gonna do it my way. So these regional dishes that are out there, I want to start traveling.
I like to travel.
Finding some of these places and some of these people who do these things. You know, we were the subject of one of those shows not too long ago. A lot of folks out there know Andrew Zimmern. He came to our house and he wanted us to make our famous burgoo. You remember that?
You do make good burgoo.
And so that's a regional thing here, and everybody's got their own recipe and everybody thinks theirs is the best. I will not fight you over it. I like all kinds of burgoos, and there's a lot of folks out there that make it good. But he came in and I took him squirrel hunting.
He had fun.
He had fun. I don't think he had ever taken a squirrel before. And then we shot bows and arrows together, and then it rained.
That's right. But you got it all out before the rain. Perfect timing.
Of course, you got to cook burgoo outside.
That's right.
But we got it done, and Andrew was a nice guy, and we had fun filming that show. So he was doing a regional show at that point. Now, when you talk about Mulldown or a mull, there are so many people out there with so many ideas about how to do that. Back in the 30s, in a little southern town in Georgia, there were these two folks that had a cook-off, and they were at each other's throats. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek, but they were having fun with it, and they were even talking to the newspapers of the separate towns so they could fire each other up against each other. But this thing is a real big deal in some towns. So I'm gonna try my version of it. So what are your thoughts, without having had this, about a mull or a Mulldown?
I have no idea, actually.
No idea?
I'm excited, though. I'm seeing your ingredients. I like potatoes, I like onions, I like my tomatoes. You got catfish, bacon.
And recipes, they don't have to be written on paper. I thought about something I wanted really bad, and I made it today. I'm gonna show you in a little while, and I think you're gonna like it.
Okay, I'm excited.
It's just real easy, and I think you'll dig it. This is a layered dish. It's really unusual, but you think about it, once you fry your bacon, you leave the grease.
Yummy.
You're gonna come back. I am going to, and a lot of people don't do this, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cook that fish a little bit. Everything in there is gonna be partially cooked. So when you put it in the oven, or if you cook it over the fire outside, it's already started.
Good idea.
So everything's gonna be kind of heated up. After we take our bacon out, we're gonna turn this fish over. I'm gonna put a little bit of blackened seasoning on it.
Yummy.
Just turn that over, just get it cooking just a little bit. After that, we take our onions and potatoes and cut those up real thin. Take our catfish, set it aside, take our bacon, set it aside. Layer potatoes, layer onions.
I like that.
Put your catfish, then your tomatoes, your seasoned tomatoes. Now something we're gonna use here is some hot sauce, as much or as little as you want. I'm also gonna use some of our blackened seasoning. We're gonna use some Cajun seasoning and some smoked paprika, plus salt and pepper to your taste. Also a little bit of butter and some bay leaf.
Sounds good to me.
So that's how we're gonna build this thing. Okay, so we're gonna cut our potatoes up real thin, and we're gonna cut our onions into thin rings all the way across. Now the time that I went down to Georgia, and I was already working with Kentucky Afield. Now Kentucky Afield was a television show that I hosted for over 20 years. I worked with the Department of Fish and Wildlife for almost 30 years. That was a show about hunting and fishing in the outdoors in Kentucky. And on that show, we were an educational television show. We talked about hunting and fishing in the outdoors and nature. And we also, once we took wild game, we would bring that back and show you how to make that. So while I was down in Georgia, hunting for boar. When we stopped at that little shop and it said catfish, I thought, okay, I'm always needing a new catfish recipe.
Yeah.
And that's stuck in the back of my mind until this fellow on social media said, hey, Mr. Farmer, would you make this recipe? So I thought about it, I remembered how it tasted. I remember that it was fairly spicy. There was a seafood kind of seasoning in there, you might call it. And I just remember that it was just fantastic. But I remember that it had a bacon taste, and I remember that all those flavors combined were just fantastic, and I hope I can do this justice here.
Well, you got a good start. It's bacon.
Yes.
I like your start.
Everybody gets in a big hurry today when they're cooking everything. I find at lower temperatures, it may take a little longer, but you get the perfect bacon at a lower temperature. Look at that.
Yum. I can't eat this.
I wish you wouldn't.
All right, we need
you
it.
can eat it, but when it's in the recipe.
Okay.
You're not gonna set any fire alarms off like this at lower temperatures? Hopefully.
That's right.
So now I'm gonna take that catfish, and this oil's nice and hot. I'm not dumping any of that out either. I'm gonna drop my catfish in here directly in my
Bacon grease?
bacon
I like
grease.
that.
All right, so what I'm gonna put on here on this catfish, we all like blackened catfish. Now, would that not bring a great flavor to this
Oh,
dish?
yeah,
You already got blackened catfish flavor and bacon?
Yeah,
It's a good
I like
start.
it, I like it.
Good start. Now, this whole thing is after we get it layered up, it's going in the oven, it's gonna cook. But I like to get everything, like we talked about, just a little bit cooked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also heat the tomatoes up and season those, so we got a little bit of head start. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, get my tomatoes warmed up. What this does is basically lower our cooking time. A couple of bay leaves.
And what is this, about 3.5, 4 cups of
I would say,
diced
what do you think,
tomatoes?
3.5 cups?
Yeah, diced tomatoes.
Because we used something for something else a little while ago. I'm also gonna take some hot sauce.
You sure?
Just a little bit.
It's like a lot to me.
It's up to you how much you want on that. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. And again, I'm not trying to cook this all the way through, I just wanna get it started. So this pan's already hot, we put it in a 350-degree oven.
That's right.
We're off to the races.
Yes.
So what I'm looking for here is not a really extended cooking time. Normally this dish, if you just did it in the pan, didn't cook anything, it's a 2-hour ordeal. We're hungry.
Always start. Just kind of browning it up a little.
Yeah. And we get the seasoning going, trying to get some flavor. And when you're done,
Smells good.
Smell good?
It does smell good.
Sammy?
Yeah, Sammy.
Remember Sammy doing it?
Smell good.
You're gonna want to eat this catfish.
I'm gonna have to try a little bite maybe. Make sure it's good.
Again, not cooking this all the way through. Now you thinking about catfish in a stew?
Catfish is always good.
Catfish in a casserole?
Yummy. I like it.
You'd be shocked. I think you'll like it. So we're gonna need a little bit of salt, however much you prefer. A little bit of black pepper.
You like pepper?
You just ground this cherry pepper. Don't be afraid to try new things. You know, somebody says, well, I don't do it that way. They're not you. I have tried so many things. Some of them work, some of them fail, but the more you do it, the more mistakes you make, the better, because you learn not to do that. So the older you get, the more you cook, the more combinations you try. You know how things are gonna be before you even try them.
And you like to try new things.
Oh, I do.
Yes, you do.
So don't ever think because somebody says, well, I don't do mine that way, and you can't do that way. Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. And once you learn combinations, you're gonna find out that, wow, that works. Be your own chef. Follow your own instincts. Try what you like, and I guarantee you, you're gonna be a happy camper. Now, if you want to, you can put just a little bit of sugar in there and cut that acid. And that's tasting pretty good. Now, it's not real spicy. Nikki doesn't like everything too hot. Now, while you're cutting away there, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna introduce these onions with beautiful bacon grease and parts and pieces of catfish. I'm gonna let them fry up a little bit. That'll be our base there. I'm gonna come in with our potatoes. I'm gonna start layering this. Now, I've been on a fennel kick right after I got off of my smoked paprika kick.
So no fennel in this?
No offense, I could do it.
Don't do it. I do love
But I'm
fennel.
kind of getting back to the smoked paprika now. So I'm going to come back there with that. There's our onions and our potatoes. There's one layer. Everything that I'm doing now is speeding up the whole process. If you did everything raw in here, if you did it with a cold pan, it would take you a lot longer. So we're getting ahead of the game. So now we're going to take some fish. Ooh.
Yummy. It smells so good.
You know, I remember the smell when she brought that to me. And I remember asking her at the time, do you have any grits to go with that? She said, yeah, we do a side of grits. So I kind of put that together.
That sounds good.
So again, really thinly sliced onions, again, cooks up nice. And the one thing about this dish, which it lends itself very nicely to being heated back up. Most fish dishes, you don't want to heat it back up.
Yeah.
This is really nice. Now, on each layer, I forgot on the last one, but I'm gonna put some smoked paprika on there.
Yummy.
Now that bacon's sitting over there looking all innocent, and it's not getting away. I can't believe you haven't eaten it yet.
I actually snuck a little.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a small piece.
I don't even know what to think about that. To me, when you make the dish like this, your fish has more of that consistency of a fried fish. Some more maters.
Yummy. I like this.
Don't you though?
I do. I'm excited to eat it.
Here's our bay leaf. One of our bay leaves is in there. You see where I'm going with this?
I do. I do.
Now, obviously, we're gonna have to have some cornbread. Can you have cornbread and grits in the same night?
Why not? You get
Who's
anything
gonna
you
stop
want.
us?
That's right.
Is there anybody in this room that will stop us? Kelly says no. A little bit of smoked paprika.
I like this. Just kind of layering.
Kind of layering it up. Now this is something different. I know we haven't made this on the show because I don't know if I've tried to fix this since I had it in Georgia 122 years ago.
Wow. It's a long time ago. Is this our last layer, maybe?
Yeah, this will be the last one. Now see, it's cooking away right now. Hear it?
Yeah.
That's a happy cooking dish. So we're gonna put our tomatoes on top.
Yummy.
You know, I'm gonna let you do that.
All right. Do you want the
If
rest
you
of
don't
them on
mind.
there?
Yes, please. That's kind of pretty, isn't it?
It is.
So a little more seasoning, smoked paprika. And this is not hot sauce.
Yeah, whatever.
It's something kind of like it.
Is that so I can't eat?
And if you want to finish it off with a little salt and pepper, there's no law against it. That hot sauce smells good. Oh, yeah. All right, this is ready to go in the oven. Let's clean this mess up, and we're almost ready.
Yummy.
Are you excited?
I am.
Let me see how excited. Let. You want to see mine?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm excited. What do you think, Ms. Farmer?
It looks amazing. I'm excited.
And I want you to look.
Oh, wow.
When you bring it up, you can see all the goodies in there.
Laying
I'm
on the
gonna put that
grits.
right on top of the grits.
Oh, that looks so good.
And what do you think would happen if I put some more bacon on there?
I think
Would
it'd
that
be
bother
good.
you?
No, I would love that.
You'd be all right with
I
that?
would be good with that.
A little more bacon.
Yes, I like it.
And a little parsley.
Making it awful pretty.
What do you think, Mrs. Farmer?
I want it. I'm ready.
That's making me hungry.
Yes.
All right, on my side, can I put a little hot sauce?
Your side, please.
I promise I won't get it on your side.
Your side's a lot bigger, isn't it?
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. Do you see our cute little cornbread?
It is beautiful. We made butter in that a couple weeks ago.
We did.
Did you get a little bit of everything
Wow,
on it?
yes.
Did you get your fish?
Oh, that's
And your
delicious.
taters?
That is delicious.
Is it? Now see, I thought you would like this.
The potatoes cooked perfect. They're really tasty, and the onions.
That's the way I remember it. That's the way I remember it.
Let me taste your fish.
Are you digging it, Mrs. Farmer?
That is really good. I like that with the grits.
Oh, I just got a bite of that fish.
Isn't that good?
And it was kind of towards the top, so it crisped up.
It's crunchy.
Oh my. Oh, I gotta get a piece of bacon in there. Catfish Mulldown, or Catfish Mull, whichever you prefer.
This is delicious.
Over grits, Kentucky style.
I like it. I really like the potatoes in there too.
You know what?
That is really good.
I don't want to go out on a limb,
That's delicious.
but that's like, might be the favorite thing we've done in like a couple months. Catfish, you got to find different ways to do your fish if you're out catching a bunch of fish.
That's really good.